All right, gang, we really need to brainstorm here. I want us to call in all favors and turn over every rock we got. Combined, we have over 100 years of experience in the wrestling business.
If not more.
So then, who can we get to help us defeat Russo and save not only TNA, but the wrestling business as a whole?
Well, it would be wonderful if we could get some of those great free agents in the wrestling world. Sting, Lex Luger, Goldberg.
I've already asked them all. We don't have the money they want.
Right, I remember now. Oh, hey, Road Warriors. Thanks for showing up today.
That's right, that's it. Hey, Roadies, wait a second. TNA has been dealing with Russo and his numbers. We are sick of them taking over the show, making the company and business look bad.
Yeah, us too.
Now I'm going to go out there tonight to deal with it myself. Would love it if you could watch my back in a totally unofficial capacity. This is a personal favor, not related to the company in any way.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, thanks. Goodbye. Now, Tanae, isn't there something you can call in from your broadcast journalist days who we can contract to defeat Russo?
Well, maybe Bobby Heenan would be interested, but he did announce that he has throat cancer last year and he's getting pretty hard to understand what he says.
Call him. If he's a mute, he'll still be the third best person we have on the mic.
Zip it, zip it, zip it, zip it. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. AJ, how's about joining up with TNA to defeat Russo?
What? I'm already in TNA, aren't I?
You are?
Well, yeah, duh. I come out, I beat you up every night. I keep saying I'm coming for your title. Don't you watch your own show? It makes no sense.
So you're gonna help us defeat Russo?
Well, you know what I always say. Zip it! Zip-a-doo-dah, zip-a-da-da.
I got it! I know a megastar that owes me a favor. He owes us all a favor, and I can guarantee he will show up for a run.
Who? Today? Who?
I could tell you, but wouldn't it be better if you waited for the surprise?
Not really. I have a company to run. Someone needs to crunch the numbers.
Too bad! Work, shoot, later!
Why would you make this?
Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for listening. This is Why Would You Make This? Season 3, The Asylum Years. The only podcast to neglect its responsibilities to a criminal level, which makes you ask the question, why would you make this? I am Jimmy Time. I am joined by my co-hosts, Brother Skylar. How are you?
I am good. I am just as good as I would be the following week from the last time we've done this because we don't take any breaks. We do this all the time consistently.
Yes, there has not been a good 2 months since the last show. No. We also joined by J Delta Wagwan.
Wagwan. I am also doing well, and as you know, seizure 3 for over 3 solid seasons.
Yes, seizure free. You said the word three times, and I don't know what the hell happened there. All right, so this episode, we are taking you through the National Wrestling Alliance Total Nonstop Action Weekly Pay-Per-View Show, episode number 27, broadcasted on January 8th, 2003, live from Nashville, Tennessee, at the Fairgrounds Coliseum, now known as the Indiana Farmers Coliseum, allegedly drawing 1,000 in live attendance. Although, here's the bad news, because you guys are going, here's the bad news. I recently got my hands on old Wrestling Observer newsletters, and Dave, I actually have to double check that. I don't know if Dave is the sole writer of the old ones, but Dave Meltzer claims that they drew 1,300 people in their show, and they actually had to turn people away, although somehow a lot of those numbers, like a lot of those people, will also paper tickets, which means free tickets. Like, they just gave them away to fill the place up. So,
Yeah.
Well, if you're giving away free tickets, a lot of people are going to show up.
That's what I mean. So, like, I don't know if the numbers are off or if that's what it is. Like, they sold 1,000 and then they papered 300 and stuff like that. But yeah, we're getting conflicting reports now about their attendance, although in a good way, apparently. And of course, once again, now that Vince Russo is here, I want to make a promise to you, the co-host, and the fans that are listening. No more tradition and respect. We gonna blast through shit hardcore.
Yeah. Strap in.
Okay, so as per usual, although I am still going to do this very long bit, as per usual, episode 26 left us confused about the direction of the company and the motives of the characters, so let's try to explain why we are the way we are with our crazy past.
Wait a minute. What happened that got you so crazy?
So first, the women's division.
Yo.
Athena interfered in a tag match to low blow one of the Harris brothers as revenge for giving her 2 H-bombs. Also, she might be associated with the Road Warriors. That's all I can tell you about the women's division.
Most over woman in the women's division.
Yeah.
Yeah, never had a match.
No. Next, the tag division. The Roadies, a.k.a. the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, are here, and they do not like Vince Russo. Next, 5 weeks later, Father James Mitchell's The Disciples of the New Church / and Brian Lee are still your NWA World Tag Team Champions. Next, the Harris brothers, Ron and Dodd, have agreed to join Vince Russo due to not being appreciated by the NWA. Believe it or not, back from the grave, the Flying Elvises have fallen apart, with Sonny Siaki going off on his own after burning the Elvis suit, with Jimmy Yang leaving to tour with AJPW, and personal valet Priscilla leaving with Brian Lawler. However, 9 weeks later, Jorge Estrada still won't say that the Flying Elvises are dead. And then finally, technically in the tag division, Percy Pringle is here, and he has taken an interest in the tag division. Next, your X division, also a short one there. After interference from Every Man's Desire, 2 weeks later, Sonny Siaki is still your NWA TNA X division champion.
Don't you mean Miss Sex?
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah.
Oh.
That's this show. And then finally, in your World division, after costing Killings his title, Mr. Wrestling 3 was revealed to be Vince Russo, and now Ron the Truth Killings wants revenge. Next, while it's not very clear what the BG stand for, BG James has come to TNA to turn his back on his family and his friends. Next, Vince Russo has come to save wrestling by starting the group SEX, Sports Entertainment Extreme. And he is recruiting TNA wrestlers. So far, he has the Harris brothers, BG James, Elix Skipper, Chris Daniels, Low Key, Sonny Siaki, and David Flair.
I feel like he's about to double that.
Well, and then finally, the best one of them all. Crack them fingies out. Start counting. Jeff Jarrett will not be screwed over again, like he already has been by Jackie Fargo, NWA President Jim Miller, Kurt Hennig twice, Brian Lawler twice, country music singer Toby Keith twice, NWA Authority figure Ricky the Dragon Steamboat twice, Scott Hall twice, BG James 3 times, Vince Russo 3 times, NWA Vice President Bill Behrens 3 times, NWA Authority figure Bullet Bob Armstrong 4 times, James Mitchell of the New Church, and the Tennessee Titans.
What? 28?
20. I'm at 27 of screws.
Maybe 27. Oh no, I lost count. It's too many.
Oh, and of course, yeah, who really cares, even though there's ample evidence of it. He has also attempted to kill Jackie Fargo, Jim Miller, Todd Stone, Bullet Bob Armstrong, BG James, Kurt Hennig, Bill Behrens twice, Scott Hall twice, and the entire NWA TNA security team several times.
Fake news.
No big deal. I mean, who pays attention to any of that stuff?
And yet you pump your propaganda onto our airwaves and never mention the fact that that man heroically stopped a mad gunman, saving upwards of possibly even 1,300 live in attendance.
Yes.
I don't know. That was so long ago, and it's never in any of the things that he says. That's an urban legend by now.
I don't know. Yeah.
This is how they
I
erase.
think
this
that's
is how
your
they
propaganda.
Erase, this is how they erase your histories, Jeff Jarrett's.
All of them.
All right, so last week we were promised nothing. They didn't let Don West do his super pitch, so we had nothing on the table. We didn't know anything. Although Jason Cross still has an X title shot and Quiet Storm have a tag title shot, so that might happen. I don't know.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Delta, you said that we were going to see a Hennig holiday hiatus, where Kurt Hennig would not show up from the holiday shenanigans, whatever he did. Also said that we would not see Percy ever again.
Wait, wrong.
And then you hoped that the Road Warriors would return in some fashion.
look at
Hopes
that.
came true.
Brother Skylar, you said Larry the Axe was going to show up.
I might have said, I think just the axe would show up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to give partial credit.
You also said that Skipper and Daniels are going to tag, and that Low-Key was going to be in a singles match against Mama Luke.
They all were booked.
Well, also said Smiley was going to appear. What about
Damn
that?
it!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you said Quiet Storm was going to get their shot.
Yeah.
No.
No, and then you hoped that the Road Warriors were going to have a sit-down interview
No,
today.
damn it. Got nothing. I tried.
I said that I was hoping that Russo was going to turn on BG, then kick him out of the company.
Nope.
Didn't happen. And then I wanted Athena to confirm that she was in some way associated with the Road Warriors, seeing as how she came out to interfere in a tag match that she didn't have anything to do with, and then they saved her, like, you know, in some way.
Spoilers. No.
No,
No.
it
It
didn't
doesn't
happen.
happen.
Yeah, not at all. All right, next you got your dark matches. Watch the dark matches. Colt Cabana pinned. Oh, no, excuse me. CM Punk pinned Colt Cabana.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't bring that up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Sensitive subject.
Hold on.
No, I don't fancy myself a journalist. Don't worry. And then AJ Styles pinned Adam Jacobs. We actually saw. No, we heard about him once when he had another dark match against Jimmy Rave for the very short-lived, at least from our perspective, NWA World Junior Heavyweight title.
They haven't even.
Good for him.
Did they ever have that title
No.
on TNA? No, right?
No, but they had Jimmy Rave on TV while he was the champion and he didn't have the title. So, yeah,
Right.
extra confusion. Okay, so of course, before we start the show, we get a cold open. The cold open video recaps the entire Vince Russo experience, complete with clips of Piper shooting, BG turning on his family, Styles saying he's not with Russo, but should be world champion, Jarrett officially saying he's not with Russo, and Key, Skipper, Daniels, Siaki, and David Flair all joining SEX. This opening video was 6 minutes and 15 seconds. My only thoughts here: why do I bother recapping the storylines? Why do I do this every week?
Yo, watching all these events unfold one after another in this video,
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe I watched all this and this
I
all
know.
happened.
It's-
This is so great. It felt like a fever dream.
Yeah.
It's a fever. It's crazy. I gotta say, I love it. It still pops me from the last show where Jarrett comes out, single-handedly stops everyone, and then puts David Flair in
Figure
the
four.
figure four
Yeah.
until everyone just beats his ass
Yeah.
again.
Because everything, his legs and his arms are all preoccupied.
Yeah.
Can't even block shots.
Yep,
like
nope.
he's just getting stomped by like 5 guys. Yeah.
I'll push him down so I can submit this guy.
They also decided to keep in the zip it line. from
Yes.
AJ's promo.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that was an important decision, I guess.
Yep.
Zip it.
All right. So with that, let's start the show. Nice.
Spot on.
So we get a new opening logo graphic,
Whoa.
which does not have the NWA anywhere on it.
Uh-oh.
Just TNA. The show opens with Don West's mic not working because he cuts in mid-sentence. We try to scan crowd signs, but the arena is still dark for a few seconds, so we miss a couple of them. So yeah, no, it's good. New year, new signs. Like they throw all the old ones out. We get the first one, the one the lights come up on, is Russo equals
I
STD.
saw that
All
one.
right.
The worst way to spell SEX I've ever seen. We get Kane Russo, which is a really far from Kane Dewey, and like it's just so played out at this point. Really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
What?
We have Athena paid her dues. We also have Road Warriors plus Athena, or was it Athena plus Road Warriors?
So does that count as confirmation for your?
I mean, it's just a fan thing. So clearly some other fan thinks what I think. So obviously they're leading towards that or implying that in some way. We also have a sign of the times, although not really, where someone holds up a sign that says "Evil Indeed." That's the old Kai and Tai.
Yeah.
I
Evil
figured that's what that
Indeed.
was,
But
yeah.
that it's just so weird to me because we're in 2003.
Kai and Tai hasn't been relevant.
Taka Michinoku left in 2002, and
Oh.
Funaki's already doing SmackDown #1 announcer.
Number
So
one.
That's so old. And then finally, the only sign that I actually kind of maybe agree with, which is like, if you don't like SCX, check your pulse. So Don West welcomes us to TNA in 2003, and he throws to Mike Tenay, who was in the ring. Segment 1. Tenay is in front of Jerry Lynn, Ron the Truth Killings, and the AMW.
Oh my God, I can't pay attention to anything because there's a pole in the corner of the ring. They're going to have something on a pole match. I'm already done with this event.
Yep. He says things are so serious with Russo that I have to call in TNA's past, present, and future. He introduces at ringside the past in Corsica Joe, Sarah Lee, and Eddie Marlin, a.k.a. Jeff Jarrett's grandfather. There's no nepotism.
None
the
at all.
NWA. We're not giving this random old man a paycheck for nothing. It's because he's. I mean, no. It's because his skills. Then the future in TNA of Chris Vaughn and Rick Santel.
Who?
Yeah, I went ahead and immediately looked this up. Rick Santel, under 100 matches before he retires in 2010.
Retires?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's called quitting.
Yeah, wow. We're going to see him in a match or two. And then Chris Vaughn, who has under 50 matches before retiring in 2008.
Retires?
No.
Okay.
We saw him in a match against Sonny Siaki in the 21st show, believe it or not. And we're going to see him again.
What's the time limit? Like, there's got to be a minimum time to put in before you can retire from something outside of injury-related retirement. That's different.
You're putting an argument behind Brother Skylar's
I am
statement
putting an argument
where it's like how
strongly
Yeah.
behind Brother Skylar.
you have to be a wrestler, or is it because I mean wrestling's hard? Like, is it years, or is it you have to have a number of matches? Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, years of mileage. Kind
Yeah,
of
like
thing.
if he only had 49, then it's like, nah,
Well,
you can't retire. You're a
Well,
quitter.
they say you need 1,000 hours and something to be a master at
I
something.
think it's 10,000.
Oh, 10,000?
Yeah.
Well, you can't retire unless you're a master at it. So
No,
you need
I-
10,000
I'm
matches.
not
saying-
10,000
I'm
matches.
I'm not.
Or you're a quitter.
Man.
I'm here to announce my quitting speech. Never made it far enough to retire.
No.
So I'll be quitting next show.
My dumbass walked in day one and said, I got this brilliant idea. I'm at an undefeated streak, and all my matches end in under 5 minutes. Dumbass never realized I was never going to reach the mark to
I
retire.
was never going to hit
Never.
10,000
hours. 10,000 hours? Yo, I'll be dead. I'll die in the ring. That's why Ric Flair's still doing it. He can't.
Yeah.
He didn't reach it.
Yeah, he retired. Oh, Rick, we ran the math.
We did the math.
We did the math. You're gonna have to put in a few more.
Turns out that what tag matches when you're standing on the apron, that doesn't count. You gotta come.
That's why Terry Funk kept coming back.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's like, what? Not enough? All right.
What do you mean those were garbage matches? I wrestled it. Oh god, fine, I'll come back.
Kept trying to retire, but they said no.
Hardcore matches don't count.
Yeah.
Come on.
If the ropes weren't ropes but were barbed wire, it doesn't count. Oh.
There's old timers in the union hall going, no, we gotta add blood mileage to the retirement clause. There's got. All right, so then the present, Jerry Lynn, The Truth, AMW. Tenay tells a story about how Russo said he could make anyone a wrestler while sitting in front of Bobby Heenan, who busted his ass to make a name for himself for 30 years. Can you imagine someone doing that to a Bobby Heenan? I absolutely toned out when he started going off
I didn't understand the point he was trying to make.
about the disrespect to Bobby Heenan. I don't know. Like, honestly, I had to take it as, like, Bobby Heenan wrestled for 30 years and barely made a name for himself. And this guy was talking about, oh, I could do that with anybody. I could take any loser and make him a name overnight. And then, meanwhile, Bobby Heenan's sitting right there going, motherfucker, I tried for 30 years and I didn't do well. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I guess something. That's how I took it.
Damn.
That's how I took
You
it.
just shat all over Bobby Heenan and said he didn't
That's-
make a name for himself.
Right.
Damn.
This poor simpleton Bobby Heenan tried for 30 years his darndest.
Never drew a dime.
So Tenay says, I lost my job because of Russo. Fans watching, please Tell the wrestlers that Russo isn't the way to go, but TNA is. We will win the war against Russo. I feel like this is like NWO, like 4.0, 5.0 at this point, 6.0.
The most insane thing about this is like Mike Tenay is your company man mouthpiece.
Right.
He's the one everybody's rallying behind.
Yeah.
The nerd.
Yeah.
Mike Tenay.
That was the best they could get, yes. At the time, yeah, that was it.
Roddy Piper was just there.
No, he had to go.
The Bin Laden of professional wrestling.
What?
I don't really know what he was getting at. To be honest with you, I don't really understand. Like, I get the whole, like, I hate this guy, and now you're that guy, and that's the message. But there was a metaphor beyond that. Oh, boy. All right, so SCX music hits, and Russo and the gang come through the crowd.
Terrible music.
Russo says that he has friends in management, which is why he's even allowed in the building, bro. In the past, Russo equals ratings. No one came here until Russo showed up. Everyone will regret not joining the group sex. What happens if wrestling dies in a year, huh? How you gonna feed your kids, Lynn? You gonna shovel shit, Storm? You gonna go back to underwear modeling? The third guy whose name I can't remember. African-American rappers are a dime a dozen, truth. The new guys are going to be burger flippers. The dinosaurs, they wouldn't be on TV if it weren't for me, Russo, Sarah Lee. You'd be at home changing Corsica Joe's diaper.
Oh.
Dim's fighting words. Because Sarah Lee gets in the ring and flips off Russo.
Whoa!
Russo says, "Let's go, you old wench." And Sarah Lee, I don't know. She looks like she tries to, like, maybe slap or strangle.
Yeah, or grab his collar. I don't know.
But it also looks like she couldn't lift her own arms.
Is that just like a woman attack? Like when that old woman got in Hogan's face and she just tried to grab his face? Like, is that just like an old woman thing?
I don't know.
The grabbing
it was
move?
Confusing and also sort of sad. Russo grabs Sarah, but then security enters the ring and everybody gets beat down by SCX. All the TNA guys, everybody.
Except
well,
the old folks, Powder and High.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're old, yeah. I think you actually hear Tenay on the mic go, "Well, get out, Sarah, let's run!" Like,
so she can act tough to Russo's face, but as soon as it's time to fight,
Yeah, especially Tenay. We have to stand up to these guys. Let's run!
jeez. Listen, old man, I don't care how long you've been a veteran. Get out in that front line. You want to be a hero, you're going to be a hero.
Look, brother, you signed up.
You already signed.
You signed.
I'm sorry. I'm a coward and I'm not going to fight. So we already know you will. So
I'm a coward, but I'm a stickler for the rules. And you signed up, so you're going to kill yourself fighting out there. And I'm going to go back home and cry because old man is scary.
I'm going to go back home and watch TV.
Yeah. Although nothing's ever on. God,
Yeah.
man, why can't I ever find something to watch? My life sucks.
I'll just watch Frasier again.
Again, because it's coming back.
Oh, right.
That's real. That's not a bit.
Again.
That's not a bit. It is coming back.
Yeah. Dude, anytime I see, and wrestling loves doing, carting in the, like, decrepit old, like, oh, look, here comes legend, hardcore Molly Squiggles is here, they cart him out, and it's like, every time they have their moment with, like, yeah, youngin', well, I still got fight in me. And
Right,
every
right,
time
right.
I'm just like, a gust of wind is going to break your head.
Dude, I know.
Well,
That's like one of the things I like is when they brought back Ricky Steamboat, and he was like, "Wow, you young whippersnapper, you better wear." Yo, Ricky Starks kicked the shit out of him and stole his belt. It's like, shut up. You are an old man.
Yeah,
What are
you're
you
old.
talking about?
Oh.
Stomp that man in the ground.
Oh. Whew.
All right, so Jarrett and the Road Warriors come out and clean house as XCX walks back through the crowd. On commentary, Tenay and West put over TNA having each other's backs. Backstage, because this is still one segment apparently, Desire throws the TNA cage dancer out of their locker room and SEX take it over. Sure, I didn't know they had locker
They had
rooms.
their own locker
Just
room.
the dancers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I believe that.
We
right.
can do whatever we want. We're taking the woman's locker room.
Yes. Okay, sure.
Did you know we had a women's locker room?
Oh, yeah.
I want to use that toilet.
A lady sat on that one. Yeah. Get that lady out of here. I'm using the ladies' toilet. So your in-ring talk and brawl was 12 minutes and 17 seconds. The locker room throughout was 30 seconds. So your full segment was 12 minutes and 47 seconds.
Wow, way too long.
Dude.
Yeah.
12 minutes of garbage.
This is how you
Dude, yeah.
start your year hot.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're like a half hour into our podcast right now on seg 1. Like, it's just, that was way too long.
Russo should never book
Himself.
for Russo.
Yeah.
Because that made no sense. He came into that ring with with 4 of the biggest stars in TNA, and then TNA was also there.
Right.
And he just walked in alone. No one came in behind him.
Right.
And all these people are supposed to hate him. None of them went for him.
Right.
And he got in everyone's face. This makes no sense.
It
He
was,
should be
yeah.
afraid. He should have backup.
It was, yeah.
I don't understand what any of that was about.
It was, yeah.
He doesn't know how to show his ass. He doesn't know how to be a proper heel.
That's the thing, yeah. And then, like, the thing with, like, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago with Henning, where Henning, like, immediately chased him and, like, he chicken shit ran around the ring, and
that was good.
That was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
He might have also been very, like, legit afraid of him.
Well, good.
I guess that's what it takes.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts on this one, or that's pretty much it?
Yeah, nothing. I thought that was a really dangerous spot to have all the old people in there, and then the big brawl.
A little bit, yeah.
Immediately with all those people. I was like, someone's gonna get fucking hurt. I thought
Right.
Sarah Lee was gonna fall out in her face.
Yeah.
And then Don West closed it out with saying, like, tradition rules this morning. I mean, night. And I was like, oh, this was obviously the first pre-tape of the night.
My only thoughts here are Desire's throw on the cage dancer looked a little too real.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Kind of doubt that a cage dancer would have willingly thrown herself to the floor like that. But also, there's a chance that I may have been just intentionally spreading a rumor unknowingly. Because, like, for, like, shows and shows and shows, I've been saying that Miss Lollipop is, like, the one black cage dancer. Yeah, it turns out it's not. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I started saying that. But apparently, I just started saying it.
Wow.
And it's just not true. Yeah, no, apparently Miss Lollipop is, get this, the one with the lollipop.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it never really clicked on me. Apparently, I'm
Very white, that
a
one.
big old dummy. Yeah, very white. Yeah, the whitest of whites. All right, so Seg 2. Easy Money and Kid Cash versus Tony Mamaluke and David Young.
What? Come on. Easy Money and Kid Cash.
Yeah, cool.
And
That
obviously.
makes, dude. Wow, money and cash.
Yeah,
That's
cash
makes
money.
perfect sense.
Yep.
And then dude, Tony and a David.
They showed up.
Yeah. Who else we got?
Did
All right.
anyone else notice that when Tony Mamaluke and whoever came out, they had like a very whoever that guy was, they had a very early version of the Main Event Mafia's theme.
Oh no.
Oh,
That's
was
what
it?
that was. Yeah, I noticed it.
I didn't know. I didn't
It was
notice
the
that. I have to go back. Yeah.
It was the same audio or music, whatever.
All right, so your match highlights are David Young's ragdoll slam, where it's like this low grab uranagi that spins into an inverted sidewalk slam. Just ragdolled, man.
Yeah.
I liked it. It looked cool.
You got Tony Mamaluke and Kid Cash going for top rope nothings onto no one into each other.
I was gonna question that. I wasn't sure if they were both supposed to miss the guy they were gonna go for,
Right.
and then the other guy's gonna go for a move, or if they were supposed to hit each other. I don't know.
I couldn't figure out. And it happened once, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And I
Yeah.
watching it. No.
I still
Again.
don't know.
Yeah. No, it was, very confusing. Easy Money's Frog Splash. Very, very good. Looked great. And then, once again, Kid Cash just casually running up to the top rope. Just walking up
So
it like it's
athletic,
air.
yeah,
like they were
yeah.
stairs up there. In the end, Easy Money goes for his buckshot lariat, but David Young catches Money and very slowly drops him on his back. So David Young picks him back up and he gives him the real spine buster. That's your 3 winners: David Young, Tony Mamaluke. Post-match, Key, Skipper, and Daniels rush the ring and beat down all 4 men. Skipper on the mic says TNA didn't know what to do with us except not give us what we want. So now we're part of Sex. We're called Triple X, and there's no X division without us. Jared comes out and cleans house, says this place belongs to the people, and TNA will be here long after us. Jarrett says, let's do things evenly this time, and I'm going to take you all on, but in singles matches.
Oh my God, what a baby face.
Jarrett's music plays, but Triple X doesn't leave at ringside until Jarrett grabs a chair and chases them away.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah. Match length was 7 minutes and 43 seconds. Your post-match segment was 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Your full segment was 13 minutes and 2 seconds. Thoughts on this one?
You're not match. Wasn't very good. I didn't like it.
Nah.
Did Kid Cash forget his gear? What was he wearing?
I don't know.
Doesn't usually wear like tights or something. He was wearing like Zumba cheetah pants or something. I don't know what the frick.
I didn't notice enough to comment on it.
He was a weird guy. He also did a nice corkscrew like moonsaulty. That looked really cool. From Kid Cash. But yeah, again, cool spots, cool stuff. But the match didn't really mean anything. They did zero crowd work. They just kept getting up and doing something else. And the transitions in between spots were nothing,
right?
Like non-existing.
And look, the last X Division scramble they had or whatever, David Young got over huge, like all these crazy moves, like looked great in it. I get if you want to like put him over. Why are you putting a Tony Mamaluke over? What is he doing now?
Right.
Why is he involved in this? I don't.
Right.
Yeah, and not until Triple X showed up where I was like, oh, goddamn, I'm into this now.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, these are the guys I want to fucking see and get behind.
Which at that point, why are we having the full match? Like, why are we letting it go the distance?
Also, bad booking. They should have came in and just punched and kicked and just booed. They came in, did like the best spots of the night so far, and they said, they don't want to book us. And I was like, why not? You guys are great. I'm behind you guys now. It was so bad.
It's another issue where it's like, man, why are the heels always so relatable? They're so relatable where they come out and they go, I'm the greatest. And you're like, no, yeah, but technically you actually are. So I don't understand what the hell the problem is. Like, they've been screwing me over. No, they have been. There's video evidence. I've seen it. I don't know why you're the bad guy.
This company's nothing but nepotism. This guy's the champion's grandfather's here. Oh, well,
it really is. Yeah. How are you the bad guy? Yeah, no, this match, I never really got into it. The crowd never really got into it. I love the idea. It was nice to see 2 random tag teams, like people I've never seen tag. That was exciting. That was new. But yeah, it needs work. It needs hard work. And 4 guys you pick, because this is the last time that we see
Tony Mamaluke.
Easy Money in a TNA ring.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I know.
I'm not gonna see his little dance again.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no.
It was just starting to get over with people, even with people who hated it, and they got rid of him. I know you got to make money on these shows, but that's the hardest part about wrestling is you got to expose these guys for like a month straight before anyone's gonna pick them up.
Yeah.
All right, segment 3, Goldilocks is in the TNA locker room, which isn't really a room, it's more like a corner. Goldie asks, what's the plan to fight Russo? Bill Behrens says, I can't do it by myself, I need people to step up. Lynn and the Truth agree to step up, although I kind of thought they already had.
Yeah.
Truth reminds us that he named the asylum. Bill Behrens has a phone call. He's sending them, the person on the phone, a car, but he won't say who it is.
And then tries to hang up. and then goes back on the phone because he forgets his line.
Right.
It was so good.
Your full segment was 1 minute and 22 seconds. Thoughts on this one?
It kept me interested. I wanted to know who was on the phone.
Oh, okay.
I there was a terrible match, so I was losing interest. But that happened. I was like, all right, I'll keep watching. I want to see what's happening.
Yeah, total opposite.
Yeah, absolute
Yeah.
opposite. Yeah. Yeah, my notes here are, oh, sure, great segment because we know nothing now,
Yeah.
as opposed to before when we knew nothing. So thanks for that segment. Yeah.
We involved all the same people, and we still know nothing.
Still, yeah. Yeah. This is one of those moments where it kind of feels like TNA is like WCW, where it's like, yo, I've seen Lynn and the Truth and the AMW on my screen like 2-3 times now. They haven't done a single thing, and they're getting paid. Like, on one hand, yo, good for them, brother. But on the other hand, what the hell, man? Give some other guys some work. All right, segment 4, Jason Cross versus Sonny Siaki for the X Division title. This is what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Don West calls Desire Miss Sex.
Yeah.
It's in the little name
That's
template,
yeah,
too.
but today is like, where'd you get that name from? And I don't know why, but Don West chuckles. He goes, Ted Nugent.
What?
What?
I don't know.
I missed that.
Ted Nugent. I don't know why, but that's what he decided to say he got that line from.
I
But
missed that.
like you said, Siaki's nameplate says, word for word, this is what it says because it's so confusing. Sonny Siaki and Miss Sex, X Division champ.
Oh, they're co-champs.
Yeah.
Or is just Miss Sex the
Just
X
Miss-
Division champ?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Somehow you're supposed to understand that all that means is accompanied by Miss SCX Desire, the X Division champion Sonny Siaki.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then in the intro, JB calls her Miss Desire. So what is this woman's name? I don't know. Also in the boxing style intro, the crowd boos referee Andrew Thomas. Like hard, like enough really like, oh, we know who you are and we
I
don't like
heard that,
this.
yeah.
We're gonna wait in the parking lot.
All right, so this week the rule is back inexplicably. If a champion gets himself intentionally disqualified, he loses the title.
They make it sound like that's a standing rule in TNA now.
Right. That's what it was originally supposed to be, but it's never come up, and they don't mention it often enough for it to like be like a thing, so it just sort of seems like it's back for no reason all of a sudden. All right, so your match highlights include a top rope corkscrew senton to the outside by Cross.
Yo, he spun 360 degrees, saw where he was, and went, I still have time, and then did a front flip as well and landed it. I was like, this guy's pretty good, at least like athletic-wise.
Siaki with an alley-oop into the ropes.
Which I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I thought was going to be the finish because it was right after an interference, right?
It looked pretty good. Yeah,
I
it was a
like,
big
oh,
spot. Yeah.
that's the finish, right? Nope.
You got a slingshot somersault plancha to the outside by Cross, followed by Desire's clothesline.
Yo, that
Yeah.
clothesline!
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it
Took
was
off
good.
his head!
Yes. Worst part about it, though, directly in front of the ref. Ref did nothing about it. Absolutely. It was just, oh, God damn it,
Do you want to
ref.
mention every time something like that happens right in front of the ref in this fucking event alone?
Dude,
Oh
it
my
happens
God.
so,
Yeah.
A reversal where Cross spins out of a hip toss and puts it into a bulldog. Siaki hits the pump handle Rikishi driver. That's your over-the-shoulder reverse pile driver. And the crossfire is hit perfectly,
Yeah.
which is what happens in the end where Sonny Siaki goes for the Siakalypse, but Cross pushes him off and into the ref, who goes down. A suplex puts Siaki in front of the turnbuckle for the crossfire, which Jason hits perfectly.
Mm.
The ref is still down. Desire pulls Jason not only off the pin, but crotch first into the post.
How strong is this woman?
Dude, she's every man's desire.
Yeah.
Not
I get
your
it now.
desire, every man's
Yeah.
desire.
Miss Snoo.
Yeah. Siaki and the ref come to, and then Siaki rolls Cross up for the 3, winner and still ex-champ, Sonny Siaki.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before. The break up the pin into the crotch.
I don't think I
Yeah,
have. Now
know,
that you
I'm not sure
mention
that
it,
I
yeah.
have, yeah.
And like, wow, that is,
Mm-hmm.
Write that down.
yeah.
Every man's desire.
Every man.
Doesn't matter what you're into. Yep.
Yeah.
You are into her. All right, so your match length was 8 minutes and 12 seconds, with your full segment being 9 minutes and 4 seconds. Your thoughts on this one?
Well, yeah, it happened. It was there, you know.
Yeah.
Desire.
Desire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
desire her.
Yes.
Yes.
She was very strong.
Yeah.
I want to see her wrestle.
right.
That was great.
Too bad.
Andrew Thomas is a terrible referee. He
Yeah.
counts so fast every time. Pinfall. 1, 2. every single time. I wish I could have a talking with
I
him.
thought it was funny that the crowd booed him, but no, that was accurate.
Yeah, I was like, yep, I agree.
Yeah.
He sucks. Also, Jason Cross is a dick. He, in the very corner of the ring, gave this man a brainbuster, and that had to hurt in the corner of the ring where there's the least amount of bounce. Ugh. I just felt bad for Siaki once I saw that move.
Right. I wanted to point out that as someone who started training for wrestling around this time, I need to tell people watching that there was specifically some asshole going around telling students that you had to start matches with the universal spot. Not that it was an option.
Oh!
They told you that you had to do it.
This is the one that had all that chaining and it
opened up with the most universal of universal spots, and I just want to point out that there were trainers literally telling you that is how matches start. That's how wrestling starts.
Because I've seen that spot a million gazillion times. I've seen people slow walk through it and training. As soon as that match started, it was like 2 or 3 seconds. I was like, "Where's my phone?"
Yeah.
I don't want to watch this.
I wanted to point it out. It's not like these guys are terrible wrestlers and they don't know how to do. No. They were told specifically by former wrestlers and trainers, that's how you do it. There's no other way to do it. The guys who start off the match where they run out and punch somebody, that's wrong.
This is the introduction of your paragraph.
That's how every match. Yeah. Just, I wanted to make that clear. It was a trend of the times. But overall, this was a very TNA match. Yeah. The high spots were pretty fucking good. The rest was very uninteresting. The wrestlers don't really sort of have any it factor, even though they're all so close. It's almost like they're mocking you.
Yeah. And the finish was all wrong. I feel like Sonny was dominating and had that in his, in the bag. And then out of nowhere, they had Desire come in and interfere, and that was the reason he won. And I was like, well, that kind of just hurt him a little bit. Like, he needed her to win.
Right.
It didn't look like that at all.
All right. Segment 5. Directly after the match, Bullet Bob comes to the ring and says, we're not doing stuff like that in 2003 TNA. We're going to restart the match. Russo comes out and says, no, we're not. Nobody gives a shit about you or your half a missing pinky finger.
Yo, my eyes immediately zoomed in. I was like, oh my God, he does have half a pinky.
I know, yeah.
I never noticed that.
Everybody, besides, Cross isn't in any condition to wrestle anyway. And Don Harris beats down Jason Cross and throws him out of the ring.
Dude.
Threw him.
I was dying.
Bob Armstrong?
With Bob Armstrong.
What happened?
But they're like, besides, he's not in any condition to wrestle anyway. And Bob Armstrong goes, what do you mean? He's fine. And then Don Harris kicks the shit out and he goes, okay, sure, now, but you can't just end it that way.
Comedic timing.
It was just how about it? He's like, well, okay, fine. Like,
well, sure, now.
Oh,
yeah, it was so good. Yeah. Oh, it was great.
No, but seriously, they threw him clean over the top rope. His tailbone landed right on the concrete.
Gosh,
just
toxic.
Just shy of the mat.
Oh,
dude. Well, yeah, now he's paralyzed. Look at him.
Of course.
This is the last time.
All right, so they just kind of keep going back and forth-ish, like in each other's face. Russo says,
yo, it's just like, that's supposed to be the boss of the company.
Yeah.
And he's like, now listen, I want you to go down to marketing and just give the new guy Standers, just give him a new lesson, teach him the new process we have. And he just kicked the shit out of Sanders. And you're like, oh, sorry, I can't. Sanders is too injured to do that. He's like, well, shit, I guess you're right. Never mind. Like, forget it. Okay.
Just gets away with it.
Yeah, okay,
right,
do it.
What are you going to do?
No, forget it. Well, we're going to call out this guy to have the match. All right, well, whatever.
No, well. Well, it seems you know my weakness, a limited roster.
Yeah. You know my weakness. Kicking the shit out of my employees.
Yeah. It turns out I will tolerate that. All right, so Russo says, don't worry, he's not going to touch Bullet Bob because he's going to get BG to beat up Bullet Bob. It's a bit of a tongue twister there.
BG beat up Bullet Bob.
Yeah.
Before BG, no.
No, yes, but before BG can't add anything to the storyline. Making me look like an idiot because I read ahead of the script. It's a script. It's a script. He's not a genius. It's a script. Now, before BG can add anything to the storyline, Jerry Lynn and the Truth come out and clear house, specifically attacking BG and Don Harris. Bullet Bob says, looks like we're having a tag match. Ring the bell.
Tag team match, player.
So the Truth and Jerry Lynn versus BG James and Don Harris in a tag match. Your match highlights include the Truth jumping over the top rope at Heavy D.
There were highlights in this match?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Don Harris absolutely hurling the Truth into the guardrail. Lynn hits a Van Daminator on BG, which causes BG to bleed from the mouth.
Is it just me? Or is Don Harris always a little rough with the Truth?
Well,
Must be all that ZZ Top
Alleged
music.
ZZ Top connections.
maybe he's just a beard enthusiast. It doesn't could mean anything, you know? Of course, also a match highlight is pretty much anything the Truth does, which includes his whole cartwheel, split leg attack lariat, or leg lariat attack, sorry. The axe kick, and then...
That
well, before that part, yeah, I was going to say, I was pretty bored during this whole match, but once he got tagged in, did his hot tag sequence, I was like, yo, this guy's so good.
So good, yeah.
He got me pumped.
Yeah, and then, the thing was he hit the 450... But it was like a 450 knee drop. It was a little under rotated.
Yeah,
still
man.
looked good, but it was still like, ooh.
Road Dogg should have just rolled out and left.
Yeah.
Never came back.
That's it.
So in the end, the Truth hits that 450 splash on BG, but former leader of the Natural Born Thrillers, former on-screen WCW commissioner, and former WCW Cruiserweight champion, above average Mike Sanders.
I was just zooming into a part of my notes for him as you were saying all this. Mine says, who the hell is Mike Sanders?
All these, he's all those things,
I don't know who this man is.
Above average.
Born Thrillers, baby.
Yeah, natural, above average Mike Sanders comes through the crowd and attacks the Truth to end the match in, I don't know, no DQ, no contest. Who's to say, whatever. Your match length was 5 minutes and 30 seconds, with your full segment being 8 minutes and 17 seconds. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I love Ron Killings. He's so good. He deserves better.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. Ron Killings equal good. End of notes.
Nothing would have made me happier than for Bullet Bob to have come back out and been like, no, we're not in the match like that. We're going to restart it. And then they beat up Truth and Jerry Lynn until they go,
oh my God.
Never mind. I guess we can't.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to point out is, Mike Sanders is one of the guys who could talk for the new WCW Power Plant guys when they graduated in the year 2000. He teamed up with the likes of Sean O'Hare, Chuck Palumbo, Mark Jindrak, Sean Stasiak, Reno, and Johnny the Bull in the Natural Born Thrillers.
That's just like the highlights of the Power Plant factory right there.
It was the whole class.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody else but him ever being able to talk on the mic.
No, he was like the one guy, They tried to get Sean O'Hare to talk for a little bit, and it wasn't very good. But yeah, he was the one guy. I think Johnny the Bull was like the second guy, maybe, but even then, it was not great.
He went by above average.
I
Mike
know.
Sanders?
I know.
All right.
Kind of good.
Yeah. Better than acceptable.
Yeah, I know. All right, live pay-per-view version only. Tenay reminds us that this next interview was originally scheduled for December 18th of last year, but the Russo stuff set it back, which I think is also a lie. I think it was actually scheduled for the week before that, and it got pushed back and then pushed back again. But instead of talking about that, we're going to take a short break to talk about the Wrestling Observer newsletter, because I have access to the old archive, so I'm going to talk about stuff that we missed during the week. With this segment, it's going to be extra long because I'm going to talk about the 3 weeks worth of Observer newsletters that we missed. I'm only going to talk about the TNA stuff. I'm not going to talk about the other stuff. So for your December 23rd, 2002 Wrestling Observer newsletter titled WWE Armageddon, Goldberg / WWE Talks.
Oh, God.
This is just to let you know some stuff that happened during that week. For some information, the Wrestling Observer newsletter gives their readers the option to vote on the shows, with your thumbs being up, down, or middle. So for the December 11th show, which was the week after the Russo-Piper shoot interview thing, they had their smallest response to a show in a long time, where 20 people said it was good, 16 people said it was bad, and nobody in the middle, with a total of 36 people voting. And 28 of those 36 people, presuming that it's a collective like that, 28 of those 36 people voted for AJ Styles versus Amazing Red for the match of the night.
Makes sense.
Which, yeah, I agree. And then 19 people, which is a little more than half, voted for the Kid Cash Jorge Estrada match as the worst.
Ooh, I think I remember that match.
That was the one where afterwards Kid Cash won and immediately stormed up the
Yep.
ramp, taking off his tape to the back. Like, he was pissed.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
And then, of course, they say, and I add on to it, that, not sure if less people voted because they didn't feel like giving their opinion or because less people just watched in general. Not really sure why that happened. And then also during that week, Jeff Jarrett and Sean Waltman, a.k.a. Six Pac, personally worked out their differences, and they're now talking about having Waltman come back. As you would guess, Jarrett wants him to cut a surprise promo on Russo, but Waltman would like his return to be advertised, so he can make some fucking money. Nothing agreed to yet. Your next newsletter, December 30th, 2002, Observer newsletter, Jerry Lawler's new book, more. The final show of the year, December 18th, the last show, was one of the company's best shows so far, apparently. The show got a strong response, with 74 people saying it was good, 2 people saying it was bad, and 10 saying it was okay, with a total of
What the fuck?
86 people voting. Yeah, that shows you how bad that last episode was, where nobody wanted to talk about it or watch it. Your best match was that impromptu SATs versus Triple X at the end, with your 77 votes for that one. And the worst one was the BG Ron Killings match, where it was under 4 minutes and it stank.
Yeah.
With 55 people saying that one sucked. Also during that week, on December 21st, NASCAR driver Hermie Sadler wrestled for 300 people against, believe it or not, K-Quick. Ron Killings using his old WWF name. This happened somewhere in Wentworth, North Carolina. Supposedly, allegedly, both Buff Bagwell and Disco Inferno no-showed, with the story being that they missed their flights. As I have said before, if you don't go to the airport, you miss your flight. It says that no one in the audience knew who K-Quick was, but, I mean, who's to say? Maybe that's because they were confused about the name change, or maybe they thought it was a different guy, or, Also, there are rumors of taking Trinity away from Divine Storm and giving her to a bigger act. And we also have some possible spoilers for who's going to show up in the company in the future, but these are just dirt sheets and things change all the time, so who knows? Maybe appearing in the future in the year 2003 will be Terry Funk, Jim Duggan, Bobby Heenan, Larry Zbyszko, and Dusty Rhodes.
I bet none of those people show up ever.
I mean, they're already talking about Bobby Heenan,
Yeah.
and then they made the Dusty Rhodes reference last week.
No, Dusty will never show up.
And that was that week. And then finally, the newest Observer letter, the one that we're paying attention to now, which is January 6th, came out 2 days ago, titled K1 Promoter Indicted, Raw Ratings, more. Bill Goldberg said he would work for TNA if the money was right, but as we have talked about before, yeah, they don't have Goldberg money. The only match announced for this show that we're watching, which was 2 days before it happened, so the only match announced 2 days before the show was Siaki versus Cross for the X title. And then finally, almost nothing news, which is wrestlers who will have a tryout with TNA soon, most of which you already have, which would be Adam Jacobs of NWA Wildside, former WCW wrestler Daphne, longtime Southern indie wrestler Bambi, it's a women's wrestler, and then CM Punk, Colt Cabana, Chi-Chi Cruz, and Xavier will all be having tryouts eventually in the future. Again, in the future, that segment will be much shorter because it will only carry over for 1 week. All right, next, your segment 6. This is your sit-down pre-taped with Percy Pringle. Yo, I went ahead and too long didn't read this because they talk for a bit about nothing.
Yeah.
Back and forth questions with Tanae. Percy says he watched wrestling as a kid with other now famous wrestlers. I forget who he said, but they were pretty famous. He says that sports entertainment is scripted, but wrestling is from the heart. And then he goes into this hardcore kayfabe thing where he tries to be as elusive as possible, where Tanae asks if he's going to be a manager to someone, if he likes sports entertainment or pro wrestling. And then at the end, he says, well, thanks for coming on and joining TNA. To all of which, Percy begins to shriek, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't, maybe I did, maybe I don't. You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. It could be anything. You know, I don't. Maybe I did. Ha 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 ha.
You know me. I'm tricky like that.
Yeah.
Were they negotiating right there?
It felt like it, I guess. Yeah, it was super weird. They never talk about the things we've seen him do or specifically why he is here. Like literally just what why'd you show up? What did you see us on TV? Did you hear about us in a newspaper? Why are you here? Not even a little bit.
He said because he had some free time.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah. Well, I got some free time. Show up and
I
just
missed
see things
that.
that interest me.
I got nothing going on in my life.
Yeah, that's
So here I am. Ugh, that's accurate. I went back to wrestling recently because I had nothing going on in my life. Yeah, all right, no, that's fair. Yeah.
Dude, is it me or just putting someone in swishy pants make them look way fatter?
that man is so
Dude,
fat. Oh my God.
2 or 3 weeks ago when he debuted, and Brother Scott was like, "He's so fat." As in the person hiding in his shirt, I was like, "Bro, calm down." And this happened, I was like, "All right, maybe he's a little accurate."
There's
With these comparisons, because goddamn, it looks like a head on a sack. Like,
I
it
feel like
is-
they were doing a close up of him, and I can like see his face, but then there's just like all this extra around his neck, like just like a plastic bag like hung on his ears,
All
and
right.
it comes down. It's full of like
wasn't-
water. And
I
it's just like,
didn't give you
We
the
don't,
okay to.
we're not the body shame.
Yeah,
We
like
can just say it
I'm not
looks,
shaming him. I'm
it
just saying what it
looks
looks
like he's wearing an old, cheap version of an Eddie Murphy fat suit from Nutty Professor. That's all.
It looks like
Like
it's ready
you
to
can
fall off of
see,
him.
you can see where he is in there, and then there's just a
Fat!
whole extra suit on top.
fucking guys turning to Scott Steiner over here.
God.
All right, so your full segment was 6 minutes and 11 seconds. My only thoughts here is, yeah, I knew this video was going to explain nothing, and it did that. Or maybe it did. I don't know. I'm not saying.
You know what it is? It's the fact that he's so large and he's in those swishy pants. I think it's just like his crotch. His crotch is just in your face the whole time during the interview. I don't know.
That's what it is.
I think, yeah.
He would be fine if he just didn't have such a large crotch. Okay.
Close your legs, Percy Pringle.
All right.
Look,
Good
look.
to know.
There's being heavy, and then there's being, a little overweight. Then there's being fat. Then there's being obese.
I mean, look, you get like 90s WWF money. Like,
I guess.
and
I don't
you
know.
just start eating the cash.
yeah.
You know what?
definitely-
Let's just move on. Let's just move.
That's
I don't think this is
definitely
going to
the
end.
most
Let's move on. Segment 7. America's Most Wanted versus the Disciples of the New Church for the NWA World Tag Titles. Everything is settled tonight. There is no rematch clause for this match.
I wonder how the match is gonna start.
Dude.
Your match highlights include the match starting with a 3-minute brawl.
Oh!
The ref gets hit in the arm and doesn't see the AMW tag, and Wildcat complains, which allows the ref distraction for Brian Lee to hit Storm with his title belt. It's only a 2. Slash throws powder at Harris. It's only a 2. Mitchell hits Storm with a spike. It's only a 2. Belladonna distracts, and Slash uses his pants belt to beat Storm. And then Harris gets the belt and uses it on Slash, but the ref sees it and takes it away from him. And with the ref distracted, Brian Lee punches Harris with his pants belt, but it's only a 2. And then Slash catapults Storm into a chair that's wedged into the corner, but it's only a 2. In the end, Slash uses a chair, but Storm stops and then sets up for the death sentence. Harris punches Mitchell's distraction away, and then he hits the death sentence, and that's your 3 winners and new tag champs, America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Match length, 14 minutes and 16 seconds. Your full segment was 16 minutes and 36 seconds. You have some thoughts on this one here?
Oh, it was probably the match of the night, I would say.
Yeah,
It
probably.
was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So boring in the beginning because I knew how they were going to start it, and they did it. They did their stupid fucking brawl.
Right.
And then the second half just picked up out of nowhere, and it was just good. I was into it. And then the finish was so good where everything they were throwing at him that they had to overcome,
Yeah,
and then they
and
were
they
like,
did it.
nope, Mitchell's down. We hit our move. So
Yeah.
everyone knew it was it, and it was.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Right.
I thought it was a great finish.
Mitchell stabbing Storm in the back of the skull with the spike.
Does stabbing someone with a spike in the back of the head knock you out?
I don't know.
Shouldn't you just sell that?
I think you should just die if you
Right.
get stabbed in the back of the
Well,
head.
I
like,
mean, if it hits that soft spot that some people have.
Well, that's what I thought. It wouldn't knock you out. Like, if he sold it like that, that means he's dead.
yeah.
Was there blood? If there's blood, he's dead. If there's
Mm.
not,
That's it. Okay. Yeah, for me, I mean, it was a super fun match, but also, dude, the foreign object spots, like, just killed it for me. It was
Yeah,
just
it
like,
was-
yo,
it
like,
was-
why even try him at this point? Like, it's ridiculous. And then at the end, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but at the end, Slash's shoulder wasn't even on the mat for the 3. Like, his shoulder blades were on the chair.
Mhm.
And it was just like, I thought it was a mess. I don't know. I thought the whole thing was a mess. It was a fun match, but it was a giant mess.
I just, it's this TNA idea of surprise. Everything's a surprise.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have the big blow off, and there's no rematch, and this wasn't announced 2 days before the show in the Wrestling Observer. They didn't have this info.
No, they didn't know. Nope.
It's insane. Like, because this is the well, I guess the SEX feud, but like this is the only other feud you have going
Yeah,
besides that.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
And this has been going on much longer. So this is your longest feud.
And it's over. Although I'm
and-
sure it's not really over. But
Yeah, if this is your like blow off, there are no more rematch. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
yeah, I don't know. Cause you have Triple X, so like, what are they gonna like freebird it? Like, are they gonna go after that and freebird it, or like?
Well, yeah, that could be like maybe they're setting up like, oh, we gotta get the belts off AMW. and
But
get 'em
also,
over to-
they're like Triple X's main. I mean, they're SCX's like main guys. Like, I don't know if you can push them away from your main event division and give them the.
yeah.
Yeah. And then also, according to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer, presumably, actually, I still have to double check that. Slash's tooth legit got lost out in this match. He got knocked
Oh.
out. Yeah, lost a tooth in this match.
Woo.
Oh, I didn't know.
Gone.
That. I didn't even
Oh,
notice
dang.
that.
No, I didn't notice it either. Yeah, that sucked. All right, segment 8. Goldie says that she can see Bob Armstrong, so she's going to ask him a question about who he was on the phone with before. But Bob can't talk, so the mystery continues. Segment length, 14 seconds. To be fair, the show was right. I did already forget that I didn't know anything about TNA's plan for the show. Yes, I did forget that. Which, by the way, of course, still not the Road Warriors. That's not their plan. They just happen to be showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not booked. They're just here.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No, I don't even remember this promo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A quick thing was cool for me. Live pay-per-view version only between the segments. You get to see how chaotic it is to run a TNA show. As we cut back to the arena, they do the old high crane scan shot, and you can see that the ring, A, still has weapons in it. B, that Slash and Brian Lee are opposite the entrance ramp, like near the announce table, like that's just where they're standing. And then C, if you're eagle-eyed enough, you can see Chris Vaughn running to the ring to put the axe on the pole.
I did see that, and I was like, oh, okay, here comes this match, because I was waiting for any sort of announcement that there was going to be an item on a pole match,
Nope.
and there wasn't.
No.
Not one single mention of it.
Nope.
And here it goes.
Here we go, yeah. Segment 9, Kurt Hennig versus David Flair in an axe handle on a pole match.
Dude, why?
'Cause-
Russo.
Yeah, because the history that you should know that you don't know because we didn't tell you it because that's why it's not important.
Oh, bro, let me tell you, if this were real, we would settle things like men. hang a thing high and
Yeah.
see who can get it first.
Right. And then once you get it, you know what you get to do? Touch the other guy with it. And then you win the match because you touched him. It's like a proxy tag match. On the mic, Hennig says he's tired of guys whining about who is to blame.
What?
Here's my personal saying about the wrestling business. Paying your dues, $141 million.
What?
I see where this is going.
Being the greatest athlete in sports entertainment,
Huh?
another $67 million.
Oh.
Taking down Brock Lesnar at 35,000 feet,
Oh, God.
priceless.
He's-
Okay, Grandpa.
He's still going on about that.
I'm almost positive this commercial is like off TV at this point too, so it's like also an outdated reference
I'm almost yeah, the priceless
because
thing.
this is it's a reference to the MasterCard commercial.
I'm almost positive that's the only fight that Kurt Hennig has ever won in real life.
Yeah, right.
How much he's mentioning this.
Dude, he's Al Bundy with Polk High.
Yeah,
Like,
four
scoring the
touchdowns
touchdown,
in a
man.
single
Yes,
game.
exactly.
Dude, it's...
All right,
Are those... Do those numbers, the 141 million 60s, are those relevant or are those just...
I don't know if that's how much money I made. Like those are my 2 contracts or something.
that,
I have no idea what that is.
Right.
So he continues. David Flair's going to make history tonight by wrestling Kurt Hennig, but Hennig knows that David won't show up because he's a coward, like his old man. David Flair sneaks up on Hennig, but Hennig can smell a rat coming a mile away, and he sidesteps the attack and the bell rings. TNA mentions that David Flair brought a sack to the ring with him.
Yes, I agree. That is the only highlights.
You got ahead of me there. Hang on. You got ahead of me.
No, that is it. I am so angry at this match. I'm sorry. Go. I'm so angry.
Your actual only match highlight is Tenay mentioning that both of these men are second-generation wrestlers. It's the only highlight.
No, that's
Nothing else.
I just want to highlight the fact that, like, David Flair is wearing random tribal marking. Like, that's his gear. It's just
like he
just
just
black
borrowed
trunks
someone's
with,
trunks.
like, random red...
the
tribal
most
marks.
like
100%.
random normal indie guy
Yeah.
trunks you
he
could
bought.
find.
He had to have borrowed those from someone.
Right.
Like, he probably wanted to come out in basketball shorts, and they're like, no.
No,
Get some
dude.
tights.
Yeah.
So in the end, David Flair goes for the axe handle on the pole, but Hennig gives him the electric chair drop.
And then...
I can't believe this finish.
And
I
then...
Hennig then calls for TNA security member Chris Vaughn to
Future
come.
Hall of Famer.
Yes. To come into the ring. Chris climbs the pole and gives the handle to Hennig. Hennig pie faces Chris off the apron for his trouble, and the crowd groans. Hennig hits David Flair with the axe handle, and the bell rings. David scurries out of the ring. Your winner, Kurt Hennig. Post-match, the crowd does not seem happy as they announced Hennig as the winner. David Flair gets back in the ring, and David hits Hennig with the burlap sack mentioned earlier. David chokes Hennig until the refs pull him off, and then David walks to the back. Post-match interview, because this is so quick it's connected. Near the SEX locker room, Goldie asks David, why join Russo? But he doesn't respond. Goldie points out that she sucks at her job today, as Desire watches from behind her inside the SEX doorway. They cut away, but the segment is clearly not over, because as they do, Desire puts her hand on Goldie's shoulder to pull her around. They cut back, and Desire says there's a new girl in town. This locker room is my turf. Stay away. Goldie says she's just doing her job as an interviewer. Desire asks if this is part of her job interview, and then beats her down. Athena attacks Desire, and Desire ends up on top, but Sonny Siaki pulls her off, and the segment just sort of ends. Your opening promo was 1 minute and 11 seconds. Your match length was 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Your post-match beatdown was 1 minute and 28 seconds. Your post-match interview and your post-match interview beatdown was a collective 1 minute and 49 seconds, meaning your full segment was 8 minutes and 37 seconds.
The whole thing was 8.5 minutes? That
I
was a
know.
lot of things that
They
happened.
crammed it in there, yeah.
Tight 8 minutes, brother.
I was getting overloaded with all that was happening nonstop.
Your thoughts?
That was the worst match I have ever seen
The
in
most-
this entire run.
Dude.
Creative ending I've ever seen
No.
to something on a pole match. Go up there and get it from me.
No. And then, he ran up there like it was a plan.
Yeah.
And then pie-faced him.
Yeah, like he shouldn't have done it. Yeah. Come out here. Come out. I can't. Come climb the pole for me. Yeah, now give me it. Thanks. Making me look bad, you jerk. Get out of here. Climbing a pole like that. I could have done that if I wanted to. I mean, I beat Brock Lesnar 35,000 feet. You think that pole's 35,000 feet in the air? I could have climbed that if I wanted to.
Yeah, dude. Like, part of it is, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think Kurt Hennig felt comfortable climbing up there and getting that pole.
No shit.
But not until the second he had to do it did he realize that.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, I can climb that pole. I'm an athlete. I did. I was
Right.
all varsity. I can do that.
Why book this match then? Oh my god.
I
Yo.
mean, let's be real. You would never think to ask a wrestler, like, hey, brother, we're going to have something on a pole match. Are you going to be able to, like, climb up to the top and grab? Like, you wouldn't even think, let alone Mr. Perfect. And Mr. Perfect, he was like, oh, he got 1 foot up there, and he was like, ooh, maybe this is higher than 35,000 feet. I don't know about this. And yeah, Chris Vaughn made him look bad, and he was mad. How dare you? How dare you?
Yo, he climbed that turnbuckle and he was like, oh, I practice in my sneakers. I'm wearing my cowboy boots. Can't do this. Somebody's got to help me. I have no clue. Dude.
Go up there and get it for me. Okay, here you go. You asshole.
Who told you to do that?
And the ref, like, the utter confusion after it happens.
Dude.
Where they're just like, wait a minute. Hold on. All right, now it's over.
Dude, everything about this. My notes here are literally, yikes.
Yes.
The heel looked like a goof. The face looked like a jerk. The match looked like a joke. Chris Vaughn might have been the only guy to get anything out of this whole segment.
Those chops. Oh my god. I don't think I've ever seen a David Flair match. Or at least if I done, I'd wiped it from my memory.
Yeah,
every
they were
time.
never very good.
He is horrible.
No,
Horrific.
no. Yeah, according to, I think I said this later, but according to Wrestling Observer, like, they're pretty confident he has regressed in his wrestling ability since WCW.
Yeah.
This is the measuring stick
Yeah.
for me now.
Yeah.
If anything is bad, there's no way it could be worse than this match. Nothing was good about
Dude,
this match in any way.
Like, you saw this segment. Like, what happened that someone could have gotten injured during this segment?
Chris Vaughn.
Chris Vaughn, I'm pretty sure, hurt his shoulder
Yeah.
because he took that same bump that Cross did where he missed the pad
Right.
and he was selling his shoulder.
Oh,
Right.
wait, when was his retirement date?
That's what you would have thought, right? That's what I would have thought too. No, according to
Kurt
Wrestling
Hennig.
Observer, Goldilocks got a concussion from being thrown to the
Yes,
ground.
I was
I
going to
was-
mention that. She
Dude.
threw her so hard to the ground.
Yeah.
Concussion, bro.
And the
yeah.
way she was like reacting after that, I was
Yes.
like, she sounds like she's really pissed at her.
Yeah.
She was screaming at her.
I bought that desire, Miss Sex, every man's desire, really tried to crack open Goldie's skull
Yeah.
and drink the sweet goo inside.
Yo,
Like,
she is every man's desire, including the man named Brother Skylar who wants to mix Goldilocks to get the hell out of the company.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Goldilocks.
yeah.
I love this woman.
God damn.
Dude.
Yo. And again, you just saw this segment. Oh, God, what are you going to say, guy?
I was just saying, and we finally get Athena on screen, don't see her face.
Right.
Not
Barely
not
even
a
recognizable.
split second of FaceTime. The only reason I know that's Athena is because the announcers are going, wait a minute, is that Athena?
Right.
That might be Athena. That's probably Athena.
Yeah.
And the only happy accident about that whole segment is they didn't hype it or do any promos for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been worse if I had to see like things leading into that, dude. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, it's a rough toss-up either way, but it is what it is, man. This is the last time that we see Kurt Hennig in a TNA ring.
Whoa! Wait, we see David Flair again.
Goodness, I want to know what's in that bag.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be true or like if it's all gonna happen or what, but yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna see David Flair again. I don't know where we're gonna see what's in that sack, but we're gonna see him again.
That sack is the perfect representation of TNA, dude.
It looks so obviously empty.
Because what does it matter? What does it matter what's in it?
Yeah, I know.
What does it matter
I
what's in
know.
it?
It's
But the
so-
big mystery is like, what is
I mean, it looks like there's a cook because he hit him with it, so it looks like there's like a cookie sheet in there or something, like one of the aluminum pan or something. But
okay, but
like, even then, yeah, what is it? Who gives a shit? What?
But it's a rock. It's steel.
Yeah.
It's like a grandma collector plate. I don't know.
Oh, but you don't know. It could be anything.
It was empty. It was the placebo effect. You imagine your concussion.
Yo, now that's a segment. The power of suggestion is the strongest factor in this business, sir.
Yo, I might be going back as a hypnotist.
All right, yeah, okay. I thought wrestling sucked. Turned out I didn't have a shitty enough gimmick to fucking
It
push on
turns
people.
out I just needed something sillier to do. The puppet wouldn't do it anymore. I'll just be a hypnotist.
Although that really begs the question: how bad's the wrestling business with it? Or a puppet is getting over too well? It's not fun. No, but they actually they're asking for merch. It's becoming a responsibility. It's not fun. So, segment 10. Tenay says, wild and crazy night. Jeff Jarrett versus Triple X in a singles match is still to come, but it's time for Don West's super pitch. All right, folks, we got ourselves a good card next week. We got Sonny Siaki versus the Amazing Red for the X title. I guess Jason Cross really must be hurt because he's not getting that. All right. Oh, wow. And then we're also going to see America's Most Wanted versus, I don't know, possibly Divine Storm for the tag titles because it cuts off there.
Oh, right.
Because Mike Sanders comes out and interrupts everyone to tell Mike Tenay that he's a piece of shit. Your interviews are bullshit.
Whoa.
But next week, you're going to do one with Russo because next week, shit's on. Bleep.
Oh.
Sanders leaves and Tenay is excited for next week. Your segment was 2 minutes. Thoughts?
There's something hilarious about seeing the announcer act tough. Mike Sanders screams in Tenay's face and is grabbing him by the shirt.
Right.
And is hoisting him up. And he's like, yeah, you're going to see Russo face to face. Finally lets Tenay go, and he's like, yeah, that's right, on my turf. One-on-one. Then we'll see what Russo does. It's
right.
You're going to talk to him, and every time you've talked to him already, Russo acts like he's going to beat the shit out of you, and you're scared.
And you're going to ask questions, and he's not going to let you finish the question. He's going to insert his own narrative. Yeah.
That segment was 2 minutes long. And 1 minute and 30 seconds of it was Tenay getting through the first pitch for the first match. He took so long and so slow.
Had
By
to
the
wait for
time
him.
he was done, he was sweating and blown up. I don't know if they were like, yeah, just start the pitch and he'll come out. And he just
Stretch.
kept going.
No, he's not
'cause
there.
it's not
Stretch.
going
No, he's still not there. His shoe's untied. Stretch more.
and he was beaten
He recognized somebody from high school. Keep stretching, keep stretching. Yeah, I'm upset because we have literally the one area of not only the show, but the company pretty much, where they tell us what's going to happen on the next show, where they advertise anything they're doing, and it's being replaced with more Russo nonsense.
Yep. Of course.
Yeah. Very upsetting. Also, this is a rare occasion where the bleeps work for them, because at the end where he was like, shit's on bleep, it was like shit's on bitch or something like that, right?
Yeah.
When he said it, I was like, did he say shit's on pussy? Like, I thought that's what he said. And I was like, well, I guess, I don't know why I gave them that much credit. I guess because BG keeps dropping F slurs. Like, I thought it was something real upsetting, but no, it's just your average bitch.
Your average bitch.
All right. That was an attempt at your super pitch, which means it's time for your main event. Which means it's time for the best hour.
Our favorite hour.
The Troy McClure Hour. Oh, hello there. I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such signs it's time to leave as... We fired the guy who got punched. A corporate story. If you kill my husband, I'll make you my new husband. Or... Keep on suffering, the good times are coming soonish. Today, we're here to talk about how it's time to be hitting that old dusty trail. So first we're going to talk about Triple X. Run through it real quick. Elix Skipper, former kickboxer and former Long Island McDonald's store manager. Skipper.
Okay.
Yeah. It's in his profile. Debuted independently in 98, graduated from the WCW power plant 8 months later in 99. He went on to become the company's only ever 101 kilogram and under champion, aka Team Canada renamed the WCW Cruiserweight title, as well as the first ever WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions, or half of it. He was initially part of the WCW invasion, but was sent to developmental territory before joining TNA. Next, Low Key began wrestling in 98 under the name Low Key, derived from the Blackstreet song No Diggity. Starting out in Jersey All-Pro, he failed to achieve the tag titles 3 times in 2 years, and he also debuted for the XWF under the name Quick Kick in 2001. Finally, Chris Daniels, starting his career in 1993 with WCW, that's Windy City Wrestling. He got his first WWF/E tryout in 98, his ECW tryout in 99, and his first WCW, that's World Championship Wrestling, tryout in 2000. He finally made a name for himself with the Curryman gimmick in the 2002 NJPW Best of the Super Juniors at the Dragon Cup. At this point in 2003, his only career highlight is winning the NWA Florida World Heavyweight, or the NWA Florida Heavyweight title for one day. Just one. And then we get to continue on the journey of the rookie year of Jeff Jarrett. So in your first 7 months of his career, referee Jeff Jarrett transitioned into a tag team wrestler, specifically feuding with his former trainer and partner Tojo Yamamoto and Tojo's new team of Sato and Goto, involving strap matches, kendo stick matches, and a nightmare match. Whatever the hell that was. Jarrett also managed to win and lose several tag team titles several times. A quick recap of Jarrett's December, where he challenged a New Zealand, he was challenged to a New Zealand death box match by one of the sheep herders, which included a live python inside the box. We were told this by the sheep herder, Jonathan Boyd, who then opened the box and threw the live python at Jarrett. There was also a couple of nothing 6-man tags during that month. And so here we are in January. We got ourselves some 8-man tags, some 6-man tags, tag team match with titles, without titles, most of them ending in no contest. But despite this, he did manage to win the Southern Tag Team titles this month, I believe with Billy Travis. I don't have that written down here. This is the second or third time he's won the Southern Tag Team titles. And then unrelated to Jeff Jarrett in any way, during that time of, what was that? January 87, I believe. January 87. Oh, I took the years out when I Yeah. So in January of 87, unrelated to Jeff Jarrett, they had the debut of Soul Train Jones, who was Virgil, aka Vincent, in a Consequences Creed sequenced American flag vest and top hat.
Oh boy.
So when you
Train
think
Jones.
about that, the reason why Austin Creed had that gimmick was not because they thought it was cool, it was because they recycled it from their family.
Oh.
They didn't think it would be funny. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe Austin Creed was a huge Virgil mark.
Soul Train Jones.
All right, so segment 11, Triple X versus Jeff Jarrett in some sort of a non-gauntlet match. Your first match is Christopher Daniels versus Jeff Jarrett. Your match highlight includes Daniels reversing a suplex into a neckbreaker variation. In the end, Daniels goes for the BME. Jarrett moves, and Daniels catches himself. He runs into Jarrett's boot in the corner, which Jarrett follows up with the stroke. That's the 3 for your first fall.
Pretty good one.
Next is Elix Skipper versus Jarrett. Skipper attacks from behind before the bell. Skipper attacks Jarrett from behind before the bell rings. Oh no, before he gets up. Sorry, before he gets up. BG joins commentary, stealing Don West's headset.
Yeah, this is where it all goes to hell.
It is totally awful for several reasons, with BG experiencing audio issues on both his end and our end, where we can't hear him and he can't hear other people. It's a nightmare. But not at the same time.
My favorite part is when Don West continues his broadcast from the moon.
Yes, Don West borrows what sounds like a production headset because of the mic quality.
That's right, today.
BG is saying his usual awful stuff. Like at one point, a joke falls flat, so he threatens to throw acid in Don West's eyes.
He did actually make me laugh at some point where he said some like horrible, shitty joke, and he goes, "I know that wasn't very funny. I just couldn't think of anything else to say."
There are ways people talk about comedy where it's like, well, just so long as they're laughing with you and not at you. But that is us laughing with him at him. Yeah. And I don't know how to handle that. Like, he also says just ridiculous things like Skipper is going to win the title tonight, despite the match not being for the title. And then I didn't write down which song, but he incorrectly sings lyrics to popular songs. Your match highlights, a couple of them actually. Skipper fails to go over the top rope and drops himself on his own neck.
Yo, he almost broke his own neck. I got so afraid for him. That was terrifying.
I think that was the joke you were talking about, Telza, because right when he drops himself on his neck, like poetry, BG tells a joke at the exact same time, and it is just an awful joke. Yeah. And it was like a terrible explanation point on the whole SEX team. Again, BG's mic cuts in and out, which, I mean, it's a highlight for me anyway, because you don't have to hear him for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Jarrett sends Skipper to the corner, who runs up the rope and backflips over Jarrett for a German suplex.
Like, effortlessly. Like, he was just running upstairs. Yeah. He did it no problem.
In the end, Daniels is on the apron, and Skipper holds Jarrett. Daniels is on the top rope, but he slips just enough time to have passed that Jarrett can move out of the way, and Daniels hits Skipper with a super clothesline. Punch to Daniels, he rolls out. Pin on Skipper, that's your 3. Next match.
Typical mid-match gauntlet finish where, the opponent's health is at half for some reason.
Yeah.
And just a clothesline off the top will make him lose.
Yeah. Your next match is Loki versus Jarrett. Loki also attacks before Jarrett stands up. Your match highlights include, now Don West's mic isn't working, and BG and him are talking to each other. So we got a lot of weird, awkward silence. At one point, this is so great. At one point, Tenay specifically asks BG how he could turn his back on his entire family for Russo, and BG's mic cuts out for the entirety of his response. Quite literally, it's like, well, I'll tell you why. Gone. Jarrett hits Key with a chair, and BG complains that the ref needs to pay attention to the rules. Yeah. And as he says that, we see the ref kicking the chair off to the side. Followed by Key using a chair in front of the ref. So, yeah.
And, the entire time, BG is specifically pointing out the ref is his brother. And, specifically calling him an idiot, a
Yeah.
dumbass.
So in the end, Key with the warrior kicks as Skipper and Daniels are on the apron distracting the ref. Or distracting the 3 refs. That's what I have here. Jarrett ducks Key's last warrior kick and low blows low Key. He hits the stroke, and before Jarrett can get the 3, Skipper and Daniels interfere, causing the DQ. Winner by DQ, I guess, Jarrett. Post-match, Triple X continued their beatdown on Jarrett for about a minute before the Road Warriors finally come out for the save. Skipper and Key get clotheslined out, and a doomsday device to Daniels. But then AJ Styles comes out, and one clean kick takes out both Road Warriors.
AJ Styles just took out the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Way to
believe what
put
I saw.
him over.
Yeah. Then he attacks Jarrett. Triple X goes back to beating down the Road Warriors as AJ hits the Styles Clash on Jarrett, followed by the Spiral Tap.
Yo, AJ Styles is the man, apparently.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Then the rest of SEX comes down to beat down the Road Warriors. Russo raises AJ's hand and claps for him, but AJ angrily takes his hand away and says something to Russo and then leaves. SEX continue the beatdown on Jarrett and the Road Warriors. Finally, Jarrett is placed on a table as Triple X get on the top rope. Dusty Rhodes walks to the ring
What?
and gives all of SCX the bionic elbow, specifically BG, who he fights until the show goes off the air. Your first match was 4 minutes and 46 seconds. Your second match was 6 minutes and 8 seconds. Your third match was 7 minutes and 51 seconds. That post-match segment was 4 minutes and 30 seconds, with your whole final segment being 24 minutes and 46 seconds. I was speechless after this one. So do you guys have any thoughts?
I hated the whole idea of it. Kind of buried Triple X a little bit.
Yeah.
For what, Dusty?
What? No, this is
Oh,
the
Jarrett?
match.
Jarrett, okay.
Yeah, this buried Triple X that
Yeah.
he was able to beat them all one by one after another.
Right.
In singles matches. Like,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
they
he-
shouldn't be anywhere near the title
He
picture.
got he got lucky. Because SEX beat themselves up and then he won by DQ.
I don't like it. I'm with Brother Skylar.
I don't
on
like
this.
All right.
It's like, I get it. He's your world champ, but
Yeah.
And yo, that third match, Loki came in with a house of fire. Jeff Jarrett was not getting up from in the corner. He sandbagged the hell out of him. He was like, I need to rest.
yeah,
And he just sat there for a while. And then he picked him up and tried to do other things. He was barely selling. And then he went right back down the face bump. And he was like, yo, not a good match. If you don't have the conditioning and cardio, don't book yourself
I
for 3
don't know,
matches in
yeah.
a row.
I mean, on one hand, if that's the case, that's the case. But on the other hand, I mean, low-key kicks the shit out of every opponent he's in.
Yeah.
So Jarrett could have just been like, nah,
no, fuck.
we're out here for set. What is it? We've got 14 minutes and the show goes off the air and you can't even do a thing to me. So if I sandbag you, the other guys are just gonna run out eventually, and I won't have to do like.
The highlight of the whole match for me, at least for the last one, was when all the headsets went out and then Jeff Jarrett went over to the table and fixed it like an old-timey tube TV with Loki's head. And he smashed his head on the table and all of a sudden both their mics were working again. And I was like, what? What? Okay. It was so great. I was dying over
Fix
that.
the whole damn show. All right, yeah. So bell to 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 bell. We had an hour and 6 minutes and 25 seconds on this hour and 55 minute and 55 second long show.
Sorry.
What? Did I say the numbers wrong? No! What?
I was just thinking about everyone that showed up today, and I was just like, do you think Dusty Rhodes was hiding in Paul Bear's stomach?
You fucker.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You're a heartless.
Yeah,
You're a monster.
You're a monster. You have show thoughts at all, or?
Dude, like, was every match a fuck finish?
Yeah. No, the one I thought was great wasn't.
The tag match.
The tag match.
Yeah.
That was the only one.
Right.
And I mean, it had a bunch of fuck finishes that just didn't
just
pay
didn't
off.
matter,
distractions,
yeah.
weapons.
Otherwise, every match was a fuck finish, and it's like, we don't have any idea what's coming for the next show. We're hyped for what's in the burlap sack that David Flair hit a guy who's never coming back with. Like, come on, man.
Well, you can sell that now. What's in that sack? He never showed up again.
That always gets me. I'm a sucker for that.
Maybe it's some sort of devil's medal.
What if he has Kurt Hennig's soul in the sack now?
He hit him with the devil's medal,
Right,
and now it's in there. There you go. Yeah, I like at this point, it's like why have thoughts on this show? Like none of it adds up to anything.
Dude.
None of it makes sense. They don't care about it. They're never advertising it. They're never like trying to put their own guys over in it. Like it's just, why even have thoughts at this point? Like that's how I feel really.
It really is like, maybe it's a mindset of the time where it's just like, we gotta have twists. We gotta have surprises. We gotta, like,
I don't know.
M. Night Shyamalan, like, was this his peak, right? We're in,
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Somewhere around
like
there.
early, like late 90s into like,
Yeah.
Signs and
Yeah.
Unbreakable. He hadn't started making the real bad twisty ones yet.
Whatever that Nicole Kidman one was. The Others.
That was him?
Right? Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know.
Dude. What's in the burlap sack? What's in the sack? What is in the bag? What's in it? Come on, man. What is in that bag?
Could be anything.
Maybe it's his wrestling talent.
What if it's another bag? What's in that bag?
Whoa!
We could do this for
Second
8
bag.
seasons. All right. So why would you make this? Well, Jerry Jarrett's book, The Story and Development of a New Concept in TNA, that whole thing, it only covers the year of 2002.
Oh,
So it's
shit.
done. We don't have any insight into what he was doing. Although, so many times I then followed it up with, oh, by the way, Jeff Jarrett was on a podcast and he was like, yeah, I don't know what my dad's talking about. So, I don't know how accurate that book was anyway. So instead, I went ahead and got the Wrestling Observer News archives. So we're going to have some insight into why the things happened. Maybe. I don't know. According to Dave, Brian Lee was the dead weight in the tag match.
Really?
That's what he thinks. Yeah.
Really?
He
I
thinks
thought he was really good.
Brian
at that
Lee was
match.
the dead weight.
He
That's
was
what he
hitting
said.
I also thought when they did that reverse tombstone spot
Yeah.
that he couldn't have helped him more with that over.
Yeah.
Right.
He did so much of a jump and he went down to his knees to try to pick him back up, but he kept his legs all the way posted back to
Yes.
give him all of his weight
Right.
and even posted one arm down to push him up. And I was like, he helped him so much.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Dead weight.
Yeah. Well,
I already don't agree with anything he's saying.
Well, hey. Meltzer also says Sanders isn't a draw.
Okay, well.
The Warriors aren't being advertised. Dusty Rhodes was not advertised.
Yeah.
So it's not like these surprises are bringing in any people because every time they appear, it seems like it's a one-off because, as you and I have been saying, the idea that people are going to pay for something not advertised because they are taught not to miss the surprise is faulty, according to Dave. Mainly because you can't FOMO a recorded show. It's recorded. There's playbacks. I can watch it again. How are you gonna? It's like an NFT. Hey, it's right there. I can right click save it. What am I afraid of? That being said, they did advertise Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors for the 115 show, the next show. So they will be on the next show.
We're
Well,
learning.
Well, they will be advertised for the next show.
There we go.
The pole match was never advertised
That
at all in
angered me.
any way. As I said earlier, David Flair has regressed in his wrestling skills, according to Dave Meltzer. Again, presumably, I got to double check and make sure he's the one writing this. And Hennig, very obviously, you don't need any insider now. Hennig very clearly thinks this whole thing's beneath him, all of it. Dave mentions that outside of TNA, Hennig has been going on radio shows and saying the WWF wants him, but he's clearly not showing up on the TV. So it makes him look foolish when he claims this and then it doesn't follow through.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then finally, Dave says that the main event for next week is advertised as Jarrett and the Road Warriors versus Triple X.
Ooh.
Which is probably a bad idea, according to Dave, because it will expose how small Triple X is, and the Road Warriors probably either can't or won't, A, sell for such small guys, or B, sell convincingly for guys so much smaller than them.
Yeah.
And then also, finally, apparently, they are thinking about bringing in Larry Zbyszko to work with AJ Styles. All dirt sheets, brother, so feel about it however you want to feel about it. That's all I have now. I don't have anybody inside. If Jared did a podcast, I missed it, stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's all we know, which, I mean, fair enough. You know, what is this, 20-something years of hindsight? A lot of that still seems accurate. A lot of that still holds true, except for the Brian Lee thing, apparently, which is strange. But yeah. That's really all I can tell you right there, unfortunately. All right, so guess the card. What's going to happen next show? Just to remind you, so far we have Sonny Siaki versus the Amazing Red for the X title. AMW, America's Most Wanted, versus very possibly Divine Storm, because he was like, hey, they're going to fight Divine. So I just made a guess it's probably going to be Divine Storm, probably for the tag titles, because they have that tag title shot still. Is Jason Cross going to get that X title rematch that Bullet Bob Armstrong was going to do? No, you can't end it like that. Oh, all right. Well, he's gone.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, well, is he going to get that rematch, who's to say? Today's going to have a sit-down interview with Russo, unless, of course, Russo nonsense pushes back that Russo pre-tape. What does David Flair have in his burlap sack? What a mystery that is.
Placebo.
Will the Road War, like, the idea of a placebo, or is it loaded with pill bottles filled with placebo sugar pills? And he's going to soon start calling himself the Medicine Man. All right, so Dusty Rhodes is here, but how will that help? And then finally, allegedly advertised in Jarrett and the Road Warriors versus Triple X. Will it happen? Who's to say? Hey, nobody knows. So what's going to happen next show? Go ahead, try it out. What do you think? You got some words? What do you think? Chat about. Who's going first? Go for it. No ideas, nothing. Nobody cares. Nobody thinks about anything.
Dude, I really have no idea. I'm betting none of the advertised matches are happening. That's what I'm betting.
I bet Percival Pringle is going to tease being AEW's manager.
Who? What?
AMW's manager. But that's not going to pan out.
Percy won't be there next week.
Okay.
We will have no insight on what's in the bag. No one will ask any questions about it. It won't be brought up next show.
I agree with that. David Flair won't be on the next show. Or not in any significant way. He'll just be like with SEX. Not gonna have a match. Not gonna... Norman Smiley is coming back.
Dusty Rhodes is going to bump at least 5 people.
Okay.
They're going to bump for him, baby. I mean, he made like 4 people bump tonight. And that was just at the end.
All right, I said that I would like to see some clear direction for Athena, like at all, anything, because she keeps getting involved with things, and then she's clearly not involved with those things. Like, I guarantee you next week, she's not, the show. She will have nothing to do with Desire or Sonny Siaki or SC, any of that. She'll just be a third-party thing, absolutely unrelated. And then I would also love to see BG turn his back on Russo and go back with his family, but his family rejects him and kicks BG out of the company.
He's every week. All right, next week will be the week.
Hey, man, Norman Smiley's going to show up eventually.
All right, so maybe that'll happen. Unless I missed anything, correct me. Delta, you think that we're going to get none of the advertised, no Percy, no Flair significance, and Norman Smiley. He snuck that one in there. And then, Brother Skylar, I think I may have missed one for you. You said that Percy's going to be AMW's manager, but it's going to fall through. Dusty's going to bump 5 people. And was there something else, or that was it?
The Tenay and Russo promo. Tenay's getting beat up.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna take a bump?
they're gonna get heat by beating him up somehow.
They're gonna kidnap Tanae.
No,
No.
not that. They're gonna beat him up somehow. I don't know if it's gonna be an in the ring thing. I don't know if it's gonna be like a post or pre-tape thing. But he's getting beat up.
All right. Getting beat up. Tanae gets beat up by Russo.
Yep. No, yeah. By Russo or by Russo's orders.
All right, so yeah, maybe that'll happen, maybe it won't. And even if it's supposed to happen, maybe it won't. If you enjoy the show, consider giving us a like or 5-star review or any of that other stuff. Share us with your friends. Share us with your enemies. Share us with the people that ask you for money. Share us with people that owe money to you. Share us with the cool birds you see. Subscribe to the YouTube, although that has been slowly and assuredly abandoned because making videos is hard. Me need a money, but I don't know. Probably don't go to our Patreon. I don't ever update it. Intro music is Falling After Love by Kill Paris. For Brother Skylar and J Delta, I'm Jimmy Time. Please remember, without the mistakes of others, we'd be forced to endure the pain of failure ourselves. Support the arts. Zip it! The preceding recording is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed in this podcast do not necessarily represent the views of Why Would You Make This, its owners, employees, or associates.